Hello, and welcome to Reading with Drew. Today, we are still on PERLOO the Bold, Baby, look at that. And we're getting towards the end of the book, See, look at that. So, why don't we just move on with all the fuddy-duddy intro stuff and just dig in. Let's do this. Chapter 30. The armies meet. It was early when PERLOO woke from his final doze. Releasing his smock string, he opened his baggy eyes and was treated to a wondrous sun-up. Streaks of orange, pink, and blue filled the sky, and the colors reflected upon the snow, causing it to sparkle as if a rainbow had shattered, and the bits lay scattered on the earth. The trees seemed to fire. Then he saw the sun itself rise, a great poppy-red ball of flame. It made him think of one of his favorite Magwat sayings. Nothing in the world is so small that the sun cannot warm it. Oh, sun, PERLOO prayed, warm my heart. Suddenly, there was a shout from some Felbart warriors. They've arrived, came the cry. Sure enough, the Monomer army strung out in a line that ran parallel to the Felbart ramparts was hopping in perfect unison over a ridge, then down upon the open plain before the Felbart walls. The large force was splendid in polished wood, armor, and foot guards. As the Monomers hopped their slow, deliberate hops, they clacked their pikes against their armor, creating an ominous crack, crack, crack that rattled the air. From their ramparts, the Felbarts watched in silence, and not a little awe. PERLOO himself was enthralled, hardly knowing what to feel, pride or fear. Oh, my, he whispered to himself. Here was a mighty force of Monomers indeed. How strange, he thought, to be a part of history, even as he was about to be overwhelmed by it. Only when he shifted slightly did PERLOO realize that Packmaster Wynyato had come to stand by his side. A powerful force, Wynyato growled tensely. The Monomers continued to hop forward until they drew within 100 hops of the Felbart walls. There they stopped and stood in a line parallel to the wall, near enough so that PERLOO and the Felbarts could look down and see their faces with perfect clarity. Hopping near the head of the army was Berwig, all puffed up. In the actual lead was Cineas, looking small. Both were in armor. Berwig's armor was resplendent, inlaid woods with bits of gold and sparkling mica. The effect was spoiled only when he scratched himself. His squinty eyes were intense, his gaze shifting here there, taking in the Felbart walls as well as the warriors atop them. He was also stealing glances at Cineas. Cineas's armor was quite drab, having no refinements or decorations. But to PERLOO's surprise, it was Cineas, not Berwig, who held the Monomer dragonfly wingpike of leadership. The old Monomer kept his features averted, clearly more interested in Berwig than the enemy troops before him. Neither one, PERLOO suspected, realized he was on the Felbart ramparts looking down at them. Before the Monomer leaders were two Monomer warriors. One held a branch of pine in her paws. Having come close to the Felbart walls, excuse me, the Monomer army began to hop up and down in place and beat their armor. The Felbarts atop the ramparts responded by striking the butt ends of their bone clubs against their bibs and lifting their snouts and bark and yelp. Some beat drums. The air was full of clatter and confusion. Abruptly, Cineas held up his dragonfly pike. The Monomer army became still. It also served to quiet the Felbarts. The two silent armies gazed at each other across the snowy plain. Pellew sensed that the Monomers were somewhat taken aback by the numbers of Felbart warriors as well as the height of the snow walls. At the same time, he detected that the Felbarts were unnerved by the size of the Monomer army as well as its fierce appearance. The Monomer warrior with the pine branch took 12 hops forward. "We come in the name of peace," she called. "Share your name," was the barked reply from one of the Felbart commanders. The second Monomer warrior hopped forward. "My name is Wexagut of the mighty Monomer tribe," he cried. "Wexagut," the Felbart commander replied. "My name is Qualamar of the ever-victorious Felbarts. What brings you to our den?" "I bring a message from our great grantor to your self-styled packmaster." "Our packmaster is willing to hear what your presumptuous grantor wishes to say." "Berwick the Big seeks to avoid spilling Felbar blood. Therefore, he generously offers a challenge." "Packmaster Wanyado," came the equally formal return. "Mighty warrior that he is, fears no challenge. Still, he wishes to prevent Monomer misery. Read your challenge so all may hear it." Wexagut came forward 3 extra hops and drew out a sheet of bark. Holding the sheet with 2 paws, he began to read slowly and clearly. To the Felbart Packmaster. "I, Cineas, first assistant to the grantor, having come this far into Felbart territory without any resistance, pronounce all of you to be cowards. Furthermore, I, Cineas, first assistant to the grantor, do herewith challenge your best warrior to fight against me. So say I, Cineas, first assistant." When the Monomer warrior read the first "I, Cineas let out a bleating screech that was heard across the field. His face a knot of rage. He whirled about and glared at Berwick. A smug Berwick looked back at the little fellow and snorted. Once the challenge had been read, the Monomers resumed hopping up and down and beating their armor as if to taunt the Felbarts. The Felbarts in turn lifted their snouts and resumed yelping, barking, and howling. Cineas quickly recovered from his shock. Brandishing the dragonfly pike, he hopped forward in his limping, bent-back way. Standing before the Felbart ramparts, he began to twirl and manipulate his pike as if it were some feather wand, and his paws had twice the normal fingers. Pellew felt a tap on his shoulder. It was Wanyado. "There is your challenge," he said solemnly. "Do as you said you would. Defeat the Monomer, and you will have done much to end this war." So saying, he gave Pellew a nudge forward. But, Pellew stammered, "It's Cineas." "Whoever it is," Wanyado said, "you must meet him." Pellew could hardly breathe, much less move. "Pellew, keep your promise," the packmaster growled. Virtually every Felbart warrior on the ramparts was staring angrily at Pellew. He knew that he had but little choice. Stay and be clubbed to death by the Felbarts, or be poked to death by Cineas's pike. Even as he stood there not knowing what to do, 2 Felbart warriors grabbed him by his arms and dragged him to the top of the icy chute that led from the top of the ramparts to the field below where Cineas was waiting. Like an old bundle, that hapless Pellew was placed at the top of the chute, made to sit, and then given a shove. Holding onto his pike with trembling paws, long feet sticking straight up, Pellew slid down onto the field of battle. Ooh, yeah. That's right. Where's my bookmark? Whoop. I think there's only like 2 chapters left. Maybe 3. Maybe. Oh. All right. Yeah. That was a good one. So here it comes. The climax. It's building up. Anticipation. And we have our challenges. So On the bunny rabbit side, the city is, oh, Granta, I may be old, but I can still kick butt. And then on the Felbard side is PERLOO, a reader, a book reader. That is also a monomer. And the monomers have no idea. So, I'm excited. Are they going to fight? Is PERLOO going to talk his way out of it? What's going to happen? It's exciting. So, if you're excited as I am, don't miss the next episode of Pity the Bird, Chapter 31, In the Central Tribe Burrow. So, I bet the next chapter will be something with Lucapara and not the war. But that's okay, because it's coming. Ooh. All right. Have a good one, everybody. See you on the next one. You better.